Hey guys, this is mechanism 9. For this one, I'll be keeping my my nitrogens on the left and my oxygen on the right, and then the aluminum you'll see during the video like where I'll have it. Okay, so let's start. I think the final product has 2 moves total. So the first will be breaking this double bond and bringing the electrons back to nitrogen, so it can have no formal charge. And now this carbon ends up with a positive charge, and we want it to have no formal charge. So we look at everything else that's different, and I see that this aluminum here has a negative charge because of the extra hydrogen. So I can go ahead and move this to the carbon. Now everything's neutral because this octet is complete. This aluminum's happy with just 3 bonds, just like this one. Our oxygen's happy with 2 bonds and 2 lone pairs. And then our nitrogen here with 3 bonds and 1 lone pair. So I'll go ahead and roll it so you can see the lone pairs. So this one's only 2 moves, not too bad. And again, just write the different intermediates in a notebook. It'll really be helpful. Okay, so like I said before, I'm going to be keeping my nitrogen on the left and my oxygen on the right, just to have it with a little more uniformity. And then this aluminum I leave on the bottom. So for the third intermediate, we're actually going to be disconnecting these 2 molecules, and this one only has 1 move. So we'll go ahead and bring those electrons back to oxygen. I'm pretty sure you can do a double bond here from the nitrogen to carbon, but I like to leave it as minimum moves as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that as is. So that was just 1, so that oxygen now has 3, and we have a positive carbon here. For this whole lesson, we're going to be putting 0. And I believe, so the final product has 2 moves, and the second intermediate will have 2 moves. So again, my nitrogen's on the left and my oxygen on the right. And this is when we connect this molecule. So I'll go ahead and resize it. This is the one before the final product. And the fourth intermediate only has 1 move as well. And I'll be taking one of these lone pairs and attaching this to the aluminum. That gives us the aluminum with a negative charge, but as we saw with the final intermediate, that hydrogen will then get transferred to this carbon to take out that charge. So for this one, we just have to make sure that our oxygen has 2 lone pairs, and the aluminum, this one only has 3 bonds, but this one has 3 bonds and 1 bond to hydrogen. So we just got to make sure about that. And then I didn't touch this molecule because I only did that 1 move. 0 again. Okay, and it can be all kind of confusing when you have everything everywhere. Okay, so I'll leave it like this with my nitrogen to the left of my oxygen. This is when we connect these 2 molecules. You can use either one, but this one's closer, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'll go ahead, I'm going to leave this double bond because I want my carbon to continue having no charge. So I'm going to move this bond to the aluminum. This is the first intermediate, so there's only 1 move. I see that makes the aluminum negative, but that'll get fixed in the next. Okay, hit arrange. That'll get fixed in the second intermediate. So we see a negative charge on aluminum. We see oxygen has no formal charge, carbon has no formal charge, and this nitrogen continues with a bond, and the 3 bonds and 1 lone pair. And then I didn't touch this, so it remains the same. 0 again. Okay, so the second intermediate will have 2 moves. I don't know if you guys can see this, my UTEP. I don't know how to get rid of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my nitrogen on the left and keep my oxygen here. I won't be touching this molecule, so I'll go ahead and zoom in. So I'm only focused here. And this is when we bring this hydrogen to the carbon. But first, to do that, we need to release these electrons back to oxygen. Now we can go ahead and bring this to make the aluminum have no formal charge. We'll go ahead and bring this hydrogen to the negative or the positive carbon. Now everything's happy. Aluminum has no charge, oxygen has no charge, carbon has no charge, nitrogen has 1 lone pair and 3 bonds, so that has no charge. So everything is good. So we'll have 2 moves, the releasing of the electrons back to oxygen and the releasing of the hydrogen to the carbon. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Good luck.